Hello. In the last lesson, you learned the following words and gestures. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. In this, at the beginning of this lesson, I want to review those and see how well you learned them. So let's do a little activity together. You will see a picture. For example, you will see this picture here, and you will say, I. When you see this picture, you say, you, etc. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay, when you see the word, say it. Say it. What is it? Right, I. Say it. You. He. She. It. Say it first before me. We. You. You. They. 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 That's right. Good. Okay, a little faster. They. You. You. They. She. It. They. He. We. You. They. I. Now real fast. He. It, they. She. They. We. It. You. They. You. You. I. There you go. All right, you know them fairly well. Good job. Okay, so you know I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. 7 words, 7 pronouns. That's very good, but it's not enough. What can you do with just 7 pronouns? You need some verbs, some action, all right? And here's the first. Live. Live. What does live mean? Be patient, you'll understand. Here we go. I live in the United States. I live in the United States. You understand United States? Oh, say, can you see? Etc. I live in, well, let's see, I have 2 options here. Do I live in a house or an apartment? House, apartment. Well, I live in a house. I live in a house. All right? And I live in 2 more options. The city or the country? City, country. I live in the country. Do you understand country? Well, the city, first of all, the city is easy to understand. Big, tall buildings, okay? That's the city. The country is, it's quieter. There are rivers and streams, birds and deer in the fields. That's the country. Well, I live in the country. So, I live in a house in the country in the United States. All right? We'll find out about you. There are a lot of you out there. It's hard to say. We'll find out about you later. But you know Miguel. Let's talk about Miguel. He lives. I live in the United States. He lives. I live. He lives. What's that? I don't know. He lives in Mexico. Do you understand Mexico? Por desgracia no conozco el himno nacional, entonces no puedo decírselo, pero no puedo cantarlo. Sin embargo, he lives in Mexico, okay? And he, let's see, he lives in the city. And he lives in, what's his business? He lives in an apartment. Excuse me, there's an apartment. It's up there. He lives in an apartment. That's an apartment building. That's an apartment. All right. He lives in an apartment. All right. So he lives in an apartment in the city in Mexico. All right. Now you know Marie over here. She lives in France. The French national anthem I happen to know. Allons enfants de la patrie. That's France, all right? She lives. I live. She lives. She lives in France. Let's see. Does she live in a house or an apartment? Well, she lives in an apartment. And she lives in the city. All right? So she, talking about Marie, she lives in an apartment in the city in France. Okay? Now, let me try. I want to introduce you to a new friend, another person who's a good friend of mine. This is Freddie. Okay? This is Freddie. And Freddie lives. I live. Freddie lives. He lives in a house. He lives in the city. He lives in the United States. Okay? And so Freddie and I, we live. Oh, we live. That lives? No, live. We live in a house, or in two houses. We live in houses. We live in the United States. But I live in the country. He lives. Oh, he lives. He lives in the city. So I live. He lives. She lives. And we live. Lives, live. Anyway, let me talk about, we'll take Marie over here. Come on across, Marie. Marie and Miguel. All right? Marie lives in an apartment. Miguel lives in an apartment also. So they live in an apartment. All right? They live in an apartment. And Marie lives in the city. Miguel lives in the city. So they live in the city. All right? So they live. I live. We live. They live. But he lives. She lives. Lives. Okay. Let's try. Well, let me try. Let me try talking about you and your life. Now I can't see you very well. You're a long way off, but let me try and get a little closer here. You. There are a lot of you out there. You live. Oh, you live. You lives? No. You live. You live in. Oh, over there. Yes, Amit. Huh? Amit. You live in Egypt. You live in Egypt, Cairo, I think. And you live in, let me see a little better here. Oh yeah, you live in an apartment. And you live in the city. Most apartment buildings are in the city. So, Amit, you live in the city, in an apartment in Egypt. All right, and let me see if there's somebody else. Ivan, I've seen you before. Ivan, you live in Russia. And I don't speak Russian, I don't sing Russian, but you can figure it out. Moscow, all right? You live in Russia, and you live in a house. You live in a house. Oh, in fact, you and I live in houses, in two houses, huh? You and I, we live in a house, okay? And Yvonne, you live in the let me see there. Yes, in the country, all right? So, we know it's I live, you live, we live, they live, but he lives and she lives. All right? Did I forget any? There's it, but we won't worry about it for right now. I think that's it. That's it. And so it's your turn now to go ahead and do the exercises that are below this video. But just remember, I live, you live, he lives, she lives, we live, you live, and they live. Goodbye. I'll see you.